Now let's work on the register. So we're gonna go to the components and we're gonna go to the login and we're gonna have another one. We're gonna call it register form, okay, .js. Alright, here RFC, and then this is gonna be the register form. We're gonna close this and let's go right here. Let's remove this register from here, and right here let's just add the register form, okay. So import it like this, okay. Let's go back right here, and here we're gonna return. First of all, we're gonna need a div which is gonna be blur, and this is gonna be reusable across all of our application, and all it does is this. So I define it in the index. We have the blur right here, okay. So the blur is gonna have a position fixed, so it's gonna be fixed across all screen, and it's gonna be top from 0, and also left from 0, right 0, bottom 0. So it covers the whole screen, and this the index is 99. That means it's over everything, and also the background is going to be white, but we just want to have a little opacity the same way right here. So when we open our sign up page, this is how it looks, you know, with the blur in behind, okay. So this is pretty cool, okay. So let's go back right here, and in the register form, so inside this blur we're gonna have the register, okay, and inside this we're gonna have the register header, and inside the header we're gonna have an icon. So it's gonna be it's gonna be the exit icon, okay. So as you see, it's right here in the top left, okay. And after this we're gonna have two spans. So let me see. So we're gonna have a span which is gonna be sign up, okay, and we're gonna have another span which we has this text, okay. So let me just copy it. I'm very lazy, okay, like this. So, and I wanted, you know, to work this, you know, parallelly with the CSS, so we know what we're doing. So let's go back right here. Let me go to the styles. Which one? The style is in the login right here. So let me go back to top right here. So I want to organize things. So I'm gonna go right here. I'm gonna call this login, okay. Okay, like this, and I'm gonna have this. Let's go down, okay, at the end right here, okay. And after this we're gonna have another one which is gonna be for the register. You can like have their own files, you know, you can have for the login a file and the register file, but I think there's not that much, so I think they can work fine right here, okay. So right here we're gonna work on the register. So the blur is done. Now we're gonna work on the register, and we're gonna have a lot of things. So the position first is gonna be absolute. So I'm gonna have the top to be 50% and the left to be 50%. Okay, so as you see, you want to make it in the center of the screen, no matter if it's like small screen or wider screen, it's always going to be in the bar in the middle of the screen. So to make sure that it's exactly in the middle, we have this trick. After doing this, transform and then translate, and then minus 50% from the X and minus 50% from the Y, and it's going to make sure that it's exactly in the middle. Okay, now we're going to define a background, which is going to be a variable, which is going to be bg and also primary. Okay, so it's going to be white. And after this we're going to also have a box shadow. So the box shadow is going to be like this, so 0, 1 pixels, 2 pixel, and then we're going to have var, and then it's going to be the shadow number 1. Okay, the same as we used before. Okay, and I'm going to have a border radius, it's going to be 10 pixels. Let's see what else. We're going to have a padding of 15 pixels. Okay, and the padding bottom is going to be 1 rem. Okay, and we're going to have a width to be 350 pixels and a height to be fit constant to fit all the elements inside. Okay, let me go also see what else. We're going to define the color to be a variable, which is going to be color primary. Okay, and then we're going to go now to the header. Don't worry, after we add all the elements, it's going to go to top and everything is going to be all right. Okay, so now we're going to go to the register header. Okay, and the position is going to be relative, and here we're going to have a display flex, and the flex direction is going to be column. Okay, like this, and also we're going to have a gap of 10 pixels between them. Okay, now they're spaced out. The padding bottom is going to be 10 pixels, and also we're going to have a border in the bottom, and it's going to be 1 pixel solid, and the color, let me see, it's going to be a variable, which is going to be, let me see, bg third. Okay, like this. And then we're going to select the icon, which is the eye. So that's register header, and then you're gonna position it absolute. So and it's gonna be from the right to be 0, okay, like this, and then we're gonna have the cursor to be pointer. Again, we're gonna use this to hide this, and also we're gonna work on the click outside a little bit later, okay? So everything is gonna be explained. So I'm also gonna work on this on the span. So register header, and then we're gonna take the span and we're gonna select the first one, so the first of type, and this is gonna select the first span. So if we went back to the HTML right here, so we have two spans. This is the first span and this is the last span because we only have two, okay? So when we select the first one, that's first of type, and this is last of type, okay? So this is the first of type. Let me see what we have. So the font weight is going to be 700, and also the font size is going to be 32 pixels, okay? And now we're going to do the same thing, but you want to select the span. Let me say header, and we're going to select the span last of type, okay? And right here we're going to have the font size to be 15 pixels, okay? And the color is going to be a variable, which is going to be color secondary, okay, like this. So now we finished the first part of the header, and it's exactly the same. I'll go back to the register form, and right now after the header we're going to work on Formic, okay? So we're going to have a form that's going to contain everything right here, okay? So after the header right here, and have Formic, okay, and we're going to call it from Formic, and right here, which is going to have the same way we done before. So Formic, and then we're gonna return a form, okay, this way, and we're gonna also import this from Formic, okay? This time this Formic, let me go back right here, okay? This Formic is gonna have a class name, and we're gonna call it register form, okay? And inside this form, as I said before, we're gonna have our inputs and all stuff, but first of all we're gonna define like a line, because we have like this when we are on the largest screen, as you see, this is going to be in one line, okay? So we're going to define a div that's going to be containing both of them, and it's going to change it depending on the screen, okay? So let's call it dot ridge line, okay? And inside this here we're going to have our inputs, okay? So the input is going to be also from a component. So we're going to go back right here, and we're going to go to the inputs in the components, and we have the login input. So let me take everything from inside this, okay, and we're gonna go to the register input, and then we're gonna create another one, index.js, and we're gonna have everything right here, and we're gonna also change this. They're gonna have some differences, but they're gonna have a line coming, okay? So this is the register input, okay, and we're gonna have a style for it. I don't know if we're gonna need it, but we're gonna have it, okay? So now let me just close the login input. Let me see where we at. So let's close the style right here, and this is the register input, and this is the register form. So right here we're gonna call the register input, okay, register input, and now we've imported, and now we have a problem because we need to define the properties right here the same way we've done before. So the first one, the type is gonna be text, okay, and the placeholder, let me see what it's gonna be. It's gonna be first name, okay, and the name also is gonna be first name, okay, and also we're gonna have an on change the same we had before, on change, okay, and we're gonna have handle register change, okay. And this function, we're going to create it right here, and it takes the event, and we're going to do the same the thing that we've done before. So const, we're going to get the name and also the value, and we're going to get it from the e.target, and we're going to have like a register. We can just call it a user. So const, we're going to have a state for a user, and set the user, and we're going to have a use state right here, and then we're going to define the properties for the use state. So let's continue this function first. So now we're going to set the user, because the user is going to contain all the information, the first name, last name, email, gender, and all the other stuff, okay? So to change the user the same way we done before, so we're just going to take the name, and we're going to change it with the value. So this is for the on change, okay? Now right here we can define, like, let's call it for example user infos, and we can go right here and const user infos, and right here we're gonna define everything. Okay, so the first one is first name, so the first name, okay, which is gonna be empty. Same last name. Okay, we're gonna have also email, also password. Let me see what else we have. Okay, and then we have the birth, but we're gonna have like the birth year and the birth month and the birth day. Okay, so this is gonna be birth year, okay, which is gonna be in the beginning like this, and also we're gonna have B month, okay, and then we're gonna have the B day, okay, like this. And let's see, we have the gender also this way. Okay, so these are all the properties of the user, so we set them right here and we had the on change. Okay, so let's continue with this and see what we have else. So right here we have this input, also we're gonna have another one, and this is gonna be for the last name. Let's go back to our project. So this is for the last name, and this is gonna be also last name and the same handle change. Okay, now we're gonna have another line, so this is gonna be which line, okay, register line, okay, this way. Okay, and we're gonna go after this and we're gonna have another register line, and in this register line, let me see, we're gonna have another register input, and this one's gonna be for the email. So this is the type. We can have it text because we're gonna do the verification of email. If you don't use email, you can use it, like it's not a killer. And this is the placeholder gonna be surname, even though it's for the last name, but let's just do it the same way Facebook does it. Okay, and the placeholder now is gonna be mobile number. We're only gonna use the email, but we're gonna make sure it's used the same way right here. Okay, and the name is gonna be email. Okay, so if I made something wrong, I'm gonna fix it later. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this. Okay, just, you know, you just select it and then, you know, hold shift and alt and then the arrow down, and it's gonna copy it down. Okay, if you want to copy it up, you just have the right the upper arrow, and it's gonna copy it in the top. Okay, gonna copy it in the top. Okay, like this, on top of it or under it. Okay, and right here, this is gonna be another ridge line. This is the type is gonna be password, and this is gonna be for, I'm just writing from here, new password. Okay, and the name is gonna be password. Okay, let's go back right here, and they look like this. And of course, this is gonna be different. These inputs are gonna be different. So this is like the real inputs for the register, and this is just temporary. We're gonna change this. Okay, when we're gonna work on the register inputs, we're gonna go there and we're gonna change everything related to it. Okay, now let's go right here, and then we're gonna have another div, which is gonna be register column. And the way that's column, because we're gonna have a column right here, so we're gonna have the first of the column, and this is gonna be the second one. Okay, so we're gonna have display flex and column view for these two right here. Okay, so, and for the column we have this header right here. Okay, so, and let's call it, and inside this we're gonna have date of birth. Okay, and alongside this we have the icon, so this is info icon. Okay, like this. So let's see right here, this is how it looks. So let's remove this right here. Also, let's see what we have else, and then we have a grid, which is going to be the grid of the 3 elements, right? So this is going to be a grid of 3 columns that we have right here. Okay, so we're going to go right here inside the register column, and then we're going to have reg grid. Okay, and inside this we're going to have a select. In fact, we can have 3 of them. Okay, so the select, and we're gonna define let's see what's the select. Okay, this is gonna be the first one, and this is gonna be for the birthday, and this is the birth month, and this is the birth year. Okay, so the name of it, this is gonna be B day. Okay, and inside the select we're gonna have many options. I'm gonna, you know, we're gonna have many options. I'm gonna, you know, define them later, because we're gonna use JavaScript to get all the right options for this. Okay, and after this select, we're gonna have another select and another select. So this is gonna be the year, and this is gonna be the month. Okay, let's go back to our project, and we're gonna have them right here. Okay, let's just have one option right here to see how they look. We're gonna have a simple option. This is not the final option. We just wanna test something. Let's go, for example, let's just test like 15. Okay, so this is gonna be like the only options that we have right now, but we're gonna work with JavaScript to define those. Okay, so now let's go back to styles and let's define the next, and it's gonna be the, let's go to the size of the login page. Okay, and this is, we're inside the register and we're gonna continue right here. So I'm gonna start with the register form. Okay, the width is gonna be 100%. The display is gonna be flex direction is gonna be column. Okay, and align item is gonna be center. Okay, let's see what else we have. Register line. Okay, and it's gonna be padding 7 pixels and then 0 from right and left. Okay, we're gonna have a display flex. We're gonna also have flex direction column. It's gonna change on the to be row in the desktop view. And also we're gonna have a gap to be 10 pixels. Okay, like this. And then let's see, now we're gonna go to the column, register column. And in the column, so as I said before, it's gonna be position relative. And let's see what else we have. Okay, we're gonna have align self to be flex start, to start in the beginning, as you see right here. And also we're gonna have margin bottom to be 10 pixels. Also we're gonna have a padding of 0 from up and down, and then 10 pixels from right and left, like. And then we're gonna go to the header, which is this one. So it's gonna be .reg col, or we called it line, so there's not a problem. Okay, col would be a better name, header, so but let's just continue with it. So it's gonna be display flex, align item center, and then also a gap of 2 pixels, and also font size to be 13 pixels, and the color is gonna be a variable, which is gonna be color secondary. Okay, like this. Let me see what else we have. So now we have the register grid class. So let's work on it after this. The register grid, as I said, this is going to be a grid. So let's first of all have a margin of 5 pixels to move it a little bit from there. And then we're going to have display to be grid, and the grid template columns. And it's going to be repeat, and we're going to have 3 of them. Okay, so there's going to be 3. And we're gonna make sure that the select inside them gonna take width 100% to make sure that it takes the full space. Okay, but let's continue right here. Okay, so as we defined the template columns, now we're gonna go gap, which is gonna be 10 pixels, the height 35 pixel, and the width to be 100%. Okay, and let's go back right here, and now we're gonna choose the select. So ridge grid, and we're gonna select. And right here, let's see what we have. Okay, so we have the width to be 90 pixels. Okay, good. Font size to be 16 pixels. Okay, also gonna have the color to be a variable, to be the color primary, and then the background to be a variable, which is gonna be a BG primary, and then the border radius is gonna be 5 pixel. And then we're gonna have the cursor to be pointer. Okay, like this. Okay, like this. So we're starting to get there. You know, I'm taking things slowly, but shortly we're gonna work on what after, which is gonna be the gender. Also, so let's go back to the register form. Okay, let's close this. We're not gonna need it right now. So after this column, let's move down. This is like the end of it, I think. Okay, yeah, and after this we can have another each column. Okay, let's go back right here to see what we're doing. So inside this we're gonna have the same one, which is gonna be this one, the header, but this time it's gonna be for gender, not date of birth. Okay, like this, and we have it right here. And okay, I think we have a problem because this is not moved a little bit, but let me see it. So let's go back to register line header. So these are the style, and right here we have a line item center. So let's go right here and select the icon, and let's margin top like 2 pixels. Okay, or maybe 3, like this, to make it like centered. Okay, so let's go back to register form, and after this we can have a grid. So .ridge grid, and inside this we're gonna have a label. Okay, and this is gonna be the HTML for it. So this is gonna be, let's call it mail, because this is gonna be for mail. And inside this label we're just gonna have an input. Okay, this is gonna be mail, like this, and then beside this we can have an input. Okay, and input is going to be type of radio, because it's going to be a radio button that we're going to choose from. And all what matters is the name is going to be gender, because they're going to all depending or belong to the gender, and the ID is going to be male. Okay, and let's see what else we have there. And the value also is going to be male, so when it chooses male. And also we're going to have on change, and it's going to be the same one right here, so handle register change. Okay, so we're going to take now just the label. As you see, this is we're going to work on it with the CSS, so let's just take this label and repeat it 2 times. Okay, so this is going to be for female, and this is all just going to be female, also female, and this is also going to be female, and this is going to be custom. Okay, let's have it right here. Okay, so now if we went back to the style, let's work on this. So after this, let's go back right here, and then we're going to select the ridge grid, and then we're going to select the label itself, and let's work on it. So the width is going to be 90 pixels. Okay, also we're going to have display flex, we're going to have align items to be center. Okay, we're going to have justify content also to be spaced between, so it's spaced out. Okay, but it's also going to work on have font size to be 16 pixels. Also we're going to have a color to be variable, and then we're going to choose the color primary. After this, we're going to have a border radius, and it's going to be 5 pixel. The cursor is going to be pointer, and after this we can have a border which is going to be 1 pixel, and it's going to be solid, and the variable is going to go to the color secondary. Okay, so this is going to be the border for them. And also the last thing that we're going to need is the padding to be 0 and 10 pixels. Okay, and now we get this. Okay, so if we went back right here, this is what we have right here. Okay, we have an error right here, so this is not going to be male, this is going to be custom. Okay, and also it's going to be for custom, same ID, so we can choose it. Okay, and this is going to be female, so this is gonna happen all the time. So now when you choose male, when you choose female, it changes, and it's uncheck this one, because they all depend or belong to the same name. Okay, which is gender. Now choose custom is the same one. Okay, so let me go back right here. So the name gender, ID male, value male, and the male. So I'm just making sure, because this is can be as easy as it is, because you can make a mistake easily right here. Okay, we're gonna work on this. So we're gonna have this text and also the button. So after the div, we're gonna have another div which is gonna be rich infos, and inside this we're gonna have the text. I've copied it, so this text I've copied it, and I'm gonna paste it right here like this. And we have those spans to make sure that those elements inside this span are gonna be different color, which is gonna be blue. Okay, and after this we're gonna have another which is gonna be button. Let's see, it's gonna be ridge button wrapper. Okay, and inside this we're gonna have a button, and the button is going to have 2 classes, which is going to be the blue button that we have from before, and also is going to have the open sign up. Okay, those are both defined before, and this is going to be sign up. Okay, so now let's work on them. Let's go to the styles, and let's go after here, and then we're going to have the ridge infos, and the font size is going to be 11 pixels. Okay, like this, and also we're going to have the margin top 10 pixels to put it from top, and also we're gonna have the color to be variable, and it's gonna be color secondary like this. Okay, and then we're gonna select the span, and then we're gonna make the color to be blue color. Okay, so and then let's take the register button wrapper. This is gonna be width 100%, so to take the full width. So now we want to make sure that we centered it, so display flex, align item center, and then justify content center. We're gonna do the trick for this. Also it's gonna have a margin, so the margin is gonna be, you can do it. I'm gonna show you an interesting way to do it. So first of all, we start from top. It's gonna be 20 pixels, and from the right we're not gonna have it, so it's gonna be 0, and from the bottom it's gonna be 10 pixels, and from the left is gonna be 0. So this is if you want to have it like on a one single line. Okay, so I think this is really good. So we've done the most important things for the HTML. The next video, I don't know, either we're gonna work on the logic behind the dates right here, so it's gonna take a little bit of work, or we're gonna work on the inputs of the register, which is a lot of work also. So let's see.